Welcome to your reading. Which goddess is speaking to you, calling you? That is the title of this pick a card reading. It's so much more than pick a card. So today I'm going to be channeling and working with goddesses that I am familiar with, that I work with frequently, some of them even more than others. But I wasn't actually planning on doing a reading this early in the day. I actually have a client in about 45 minutes, but I was driving and this message really started coming in. And then Hekate came forth with, because I work with her regularly, and she said, they need a message. So this is what we're going to do. What I would like you to do, first of all, is just to clear your mind. And I want you to just tune into where you feel drawn. First, start with the pile. The goddess also might call you. And remember, these will all be time stamped. So you can come back and check them. And that is very much the style of the readings I do. They are also timeless, and goddesses are immortal. They are timeless. And so they will show up for you whenever you're ready. So I just want to get started with with the piles, of course. We have Hekate here, and then we have Freya who came forth, and then we have Lilith. She definitely stepped up today. So I just want you to take a moment and tune in. Most of these readings are going to be channeled. I'm not going to be pulling quite so many cards. So we will just free flow and see what comes forth and what message needs to be heard. Let's begin with Hekate. She's reminding me that I need to say my name. My name's Carrie. I'm a medium and a mentor, and I do a variety of different types of readings here on my channel. And one of the things I do is I channel goddesses. I also have a goddess membership, and more about that later. Now, Hekate is the card you chose, pile one. I just want you to take a moment and to focus on her symbolism here. I want to see what you're drawn to first within the card. She's saying, I remind them that I'm not going to tell you, and you can decide for yourself what resonates for you. So you can take a moment there. I'm just going to tune in and open to her energy. The message she's saying to me today for you is, long have I waited to speak to you, and long have I waited to watch you go down the path that you are currently on. She's saying you've been waiting for an indication to work with her to move forward, and she can feel that that's deep within your heart and in your chest. She says that type of connection will sustain you. She also is saying that there's going to be a point where you're going to start feeling messages that are coming from her, and they will be specifically from her, she's saying. You'll feel a resonance within your heart space, and that she kept showing me right here. You'll notice in this image, the key, which is her symbol, is really floating right down around her heart space. She said that's where you're going to feel her the most, is in your chest, deep in your heart space. She's also mentioning to me that some of you are recovering from some long lasting wounds, and that you're stepping into a place of sovereignty, as she's saying, and also in a place of empowerment on a very deep level. Another thing she is reminding me of, and this was also coming through for me very deeply when I was connecting just before I came on, and that is there's a message here about your ancestors. So she wants to reference that. And I've got some cards that I'm going to bring forth that are very much connected to ancestors that I do work with. She's really, Hekate, of course, she works with our ancestors. She works with what we are known as the dead, the living dead. Really, our ancestors are alive in the spirit world and in that liminal space where Hekate lives. And she's saying, you can join and connect with your ancestors much easier than you think. She said you can do this through prayer and through just a softening again of the heart space. She keeps referencing that and opening up and really recognizing the signs when they come from your loved ones in the spirit world. Something else she's mentioning too is she's saying something about reputation. And for this collective that chose this card for Hekate, she's really talking about how for a long time you felt displaced, as though you didn't fit in into the molds that were brought about by society and the groups that you were spending time with. But she says you've been moving away from the need to feel different. She said you just are starting to accept yourself as being someone who is unique and an individual. And she's having me pull this card, so I'm going to move in with this. I just love this color. This is what her color, purple. This doesn't surprise me. Because of all this violet and purple you're seeing, this has to do with transmuting. This has to do with moving past the worries of this idea you had about reputation, about how much different you were than everybody else and how you didn't fit in. And she said, you want to move past that archetype. You want to move past that place of feeling stuck within that mold of what you feel that others are putting you in, that your view of yourself is the most important view. And she's also mentioning something about, and this is where she's been bringing forth, I feel like I'm seeing this line of ancestors coming in. It's really interesting. When I was driving, I could see and feel that this one, which is probably an archetype for some of you, but this one ancestor, this female who was stepping forth, and I feel like she's probably at least 4 generations back than on your mother's side. And the thing that I was recognizing with her is she was stepping forward and towards me, and my third eye, I could see that she was really talking about you accepting yourself exactly as you are, that this is not about choosing to try and even fit in or not fit in or be the odd man out or the odd woman out. It's really more about you being right where you are and standing your ground. There's such an important message there when it comes to deep self acceptance and this resonance of it just pleasing yourself and not trying to fight against the world. She's having me pull another card, and this is from an archetypes deck. Let's see what message she's bringing forth here. Also, got another thing in mind I want to add for you here. Okay, here we go. So we have this message, visionary, light attributes, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. See, and this is the difficulty. This part of it is selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. For me, that is really the antithesis of trying to either you're fitting in or you don't fit in, that you change what you see, sense, feel because of the world around you. But what you're ascending into is this deeper sense of I accept myself as I am. I know who I am. I don't need to fight against anyone else. And I don't need to worry about anyone's judgment or prejudice. And this is really what Hekate stands for. She stands for the outlier. She stands for the person on the fringes. She stands for those who are not represented and who have this sense of needing someone to fight for them. And also, the other thing I want to mention about her, I do feel like she's offering herself as being comfort as well. So she might be many things, which people have known her to be, because every deity and every goddess, you're going to experience them in the way that resonates for you. It's like angles of a diamond. They're not just one shape. But what I'm seeing here for her, especially, is she's saying you have to appreciate yourself just as you are and allow her to be that comfort to you when you feel uncertain and when you need that. She's saying cheering up. And that's, for me, her holding space for us, her being able to bring forth this sense of guidance. And again, the heart chakra, she keeps bringing me forth with the heart space again. And she says, I notice you. We're going to move into my ancestor deck that she's bringing me towards. So we'll go into giving you a message from there. She's wanting to make sure you are again connecting with your ancestors. So let's just see what we're getting, what messages coming out. They're saying too. Let me see. Okay. We have a Knight of Pentacles coming forward and the Four of Pentacles. The message that's coming forth twofold for your ancestors is this. So first of all, those of you in this collective, if this resonates with you, of course, then embody the message, bring it into your heart. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. This message specifically from ancestors has to do with this. It is really about your stubbornness. You have ancestors that are incredibly stubborn and dogged. And there's also a sense of ancestors that were more reserved about their feelings as well, part of the stubbornness. And there can be, your ancestors are bringing forth, there is insight from that. And the insight has to do with you understanding yourself, that when you put yourself first and you stand in that power and you stand in that resolve and you stand in that confidence, that will also make you just as steady on your feet as your ancestors were. And I almost feel like your ancestors are pushing you up, having you stand up straight, having you acknowledge who you are and all that you bring forth. They're saying you're not just bringing forth what you've done in your life, but all the ancestors before you. And there is a sense of being very stable. This is a lot of earth energy. This is where we come from with them. It's the earth. So it feels to me like the power of your ancestors is really mighty. They're wanting you to step into that. They're wanting you to take advantage of your connection with them. And whether you've thought about ancestral veneration or not, they're definitely coming forth as a solid, grounded force in your life. Okay, let's get the final message. I'm reaching over here to my Beltane. Now, Beltane is coming up. Whether you celebrate any of the Sabbaths or not, that's not a problem. Of course, whatever works, but we'll bring forth the message that comes from this deck. See what we've got. Again, Hekate is pleased. And I always say, when you're starting, if you work with a goddess already, your message from them is the most important, not anyone who's channeling them. But if it does resonate with you, then I would love to know in the comments your experience and what you feel and think. And I'd also really love it if you could come back and see me again, follow, and share. All right. This is a fantastic, I love this. Ribbons. It's very Hekate energy. So this is the pagan god and goddess as we go towards this time of year when spring is coming in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm also getting the number 33, or if you see 333, that's a huge number right now for me, but that means growth, expansion, creativity. So it says, for it lives in the silk of my binding, the knots in my truth, the eye of becoming the witness swallowed by stillness. For me, this is all about the coming of age, coming forth and stepping into your aligned empowerment. And I'm also hearing from, this is ancestors, this is Hekate saying that you have been taking a lot of knocks lately, that things have been difficult. You've been pushed off your center several times, but you can know and recognize that, your ancestors, Hekate, they really have your best interests at heart and you are growing. So remind yourself of that. And also know that you can always reach out to your ancestors, to Hekate, to your spirit team, and follow your nudges. That's really what I'm getting. Pile One, thank you so much for being here with me during this channeled message from Hekate and then messages from your ancestors. I would love to know what you think in the comments. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose pile 2, then you pick Freya's deck. So I wanted to acknowledge that and to invite her into the space. I'm going to take a moment to just connect with her energy. I feel her stepping in and see what message she wants to bring forth. I'm hearing the word guidance right away. She's standing very strong and steady on her feet. All right, let's get started. They keep reminding me to introduce myself. My name's Carrie. I'm a medium and a mentor, and I'm so glad you're here on this channel with me. If you do resonate with these readings, I would love for you to like and follow, and I'll see you again in another video. So, as Freya's stepping forward, my energy and my sense of her is this big sense of strength and pride as she's stepping forward to serve this message. And I feel like she's almost serving this message. The thing that she's showing me is this image. It's like she's serving you. She's sending you, she has a pile of like rabbit pelts and nuts and flowers and different ornamental things. And she's literally giving you a gift. And what she's saying is her gift is that she's been watching you grow. She's been watching you get more involved. She's been watching you speak up for yourself, and she's been watching you stand strong. And she's also wanting to bring forth some insight and some wisdom that she hopes will help you feel steady on your feet. Those are her words, steady on your feet. She understands that you're trying to grasp several things right now in your life. She's showing me this image of you taking a look at several parts of your life. It looks like it's about 3 parts of your life. And there is a sense that you're trying to get insight and grounding and understanding. And there's a part of you that's trying to work on balance. That's a big part of what she's showing me. And she's saying sometimes life is messy. Sometimes things are not balanced. Sometimes things are very off center. And sometimes things don't make sense. And she's really saying just be okay with the mess. But she said what you can stand on is your own 2 feet, and you can know that you have a stealthy strength within you. And she's really recognizing and seeing you as being strong. She's acting like a mirror. So she's standing in front of you. That's the image she's showing me. And she is got her hands on her hips. She's got her legs slightly apart, and she's saying, put your chin up, put your chin up. And she's saying, you need to guard your heart a bit more. She said that there has been too many times when people have gotten in there that should not have gotten in there. And then you end up, she's showing me you dreaming about them, wishing for them, hoping they'll come back, or hoping things will work out with them. This could even be with friends as well, not just romantic. But she's saying, take something from your ancestors. Your ancestors are extremely wise, extremely proud of you, extremely savvy. That's the word she's using. And she's saying they can provide you with so much insight and wisdom. She said, you just have to call on them and gain understanding and wisdom. All right. She's having me pull one of my ancestor decks. So I'm going to move to that and bring forth some messages for you from them. So our ancestors, she's reminding me, you don't have to necessarily have known your ancestors in the flesh, right? You don't have to have ever met them, but they are a part of you. They're a part of your lineage is how she's describing it. So they are all around you. Wow. Well, the thing I'm hearing here, wow. Okay. What's coming through with the 6 of Cups? This is you as a child. Okay. And then also we're getting the Fool, which is a new journey for you. So then I was getting this earlier I wasn't sure who it would be for, but I feel like it's for you. This is you and your inner child. And what the ancestors are reminding me, and this is all part of this message, is that the insights, the pain that your inner child endured and suffered, is still relevant in your life today, that we cannot bypass discovering what made us who we are. Both shadow and light is what I'm hearing. And so there's a part of you that still resides in the past. And I'm hearing that you need to go back and find them and give them a place to sit with you and to understand what they need. And this is just that part of like shadow work, inner child healing, because part of you is feeling a little bit lost and stuck, and feeling guarded. And so as a result of that, it's making you cut off in different parts of your life and not feel connected and as conscious. So the difficulties you may be having emotionally and also mentally in your mindset really could be resolved by you taking the time to start traveling through time with your inner child. That's really what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing you can't go forward until you go back. And you've been getting a lot of messages that have been coming through. You can see these crows here. And so we understand the work of healing the inner child is a delicate balance, but at the same time, we understand that it's necessary, it's needed. And that's what I feel like also going back, Freya and your ancestors are bringing forth that message to really give yourself the time and space you need to be able to investigate these things that have held you back in the past. But really, those things are the things that will set you free. Those are the things that are going to help you move forward in your life. Those are the things that are going to help you put your pieces together. And as we were mentioning before, when we were talking about the, you know, you wanting to move forward in your life and wanting to make sense of things, as Freya was saying, things will start to make sense more the more you invest in your own healing and growth. Okay. I'm going to pull a card from this deck, which is it's a Beltane deck. Let's see what the final message is here from Freya and the Ancestors. Oh gosh, I love this. Manifestation. This card specifically is what we're speaking of. We're speaking about the goddess connecting with our own inner goddess, with our ancestors, with our higher self, with Freya or whoever you worship or connect with. But this is the message, especially for the divine feminine, of bringing back. When you go back in time, you heal yourself for the future. And that's all part of why your manifestations have felt bumpy or difficult, is because you haven't been paying enough attention to your heart space, and what your heart needs is that healing. All right, pile two. Thank you so much for being here for this reading. Let me know in the comments if this resonated with you. I would love to know. And I would also really love to have you like and subscribe so I can see you again and bring forth more messages. Welcome, everyone. If you picked pile 3, then you picked Lilith. Whether you've worked with her or not before, she is a powerful force. She is an immortal. She also is an incredibly powerful and magnetic and life-changing goddess. There's no need to be concerned about her, and there is a need to understand her energy of her essence if you're drawn to her. So I always tell people, spend time researching and don't always believe everything you read on the internet when it comes to this incredible goddess. But she came forth, and I wasn't expecting her to, but she wanted to bring forth a message. So I'm going to just tune into her energy and see what she has to say. She says she loves this tiger eye. She's saying that that's her kind of stone. To me, when we connect with these goddesses, they're like many sides to a coin or many sides to a diamond, and they are not just one way. And so what I bring forth from a goddess may be different than what you bring forth. So always trust your own experience. Okay, let's see what she had to say. So the thing that she's mentioning to me today is you have wisdom and you don't know it. You have wisdom and you don't know it. That's what she's saying. She says she wants you to just ingest that, drink that in. She is really also saying you've been playing small and that you've been working a little extra hard on avoiding something. I'm going to see what that's about. She's having me pull this card. Wow. Calcification. The thing I'm really noticing, and this reminds me of Lilith. The first time I met Lilith in spirit world, she said, I want to show you something. And she showed me a picture of a volcano erupting. And she said, that's where I came from, basically. That's the essence of when the universe was brought into creation. I come from that energy. So this is perfect that she's pulling this up for us. But so what she's saying is that you've been avoiding taking pride in yourself, believing in yourself, putting yourself out there. There's a part of you which makes me feel that you've been vacillating about taking charge, being in leadership. And it almost feels like either some of you have had a position that you've been looking at, either wanting to go for and work, or you've been thinking about possibly taking another job that would probably give you more responsibility. And it also feels like there's just a step up, but she's showing me you also unsure of how that step will go. She's showing me that you're not quite sure how to put your hand. Like when you're climbing, if you do any rock climbing, or have you ever seen mountaineers do rock climbing, they really are strategic about their hand placement. That's huge part of it. And she's showing me this image of you like trying to find what's my next position? What's my next placement? For where does my hand go? And what she's wanting you to know is that you can trust your body. This is the thing about Lilith is she's very much about the physical. She's very much about the being in an embodied experience. And she said that's the recipe for, she says it's the recipe for immortality and for magic and for creation is trusting your sensual energy and your first chakra and your second chakra, that you have the instincts, you know what to do. Just tuning in. She says, sometimes you try almost extra hard to talk yourself out of things. And she's really calling you the chief, which makes me feel like you need to be in charge. You need to be a leader. It's your time. Lilith is very cheeky with me. She's funny. She says, let yourself be worshiped. Let yourself be appreciated. Let yourself be adored. Let yourself float up and let everything else fall to the wayside is how she's showing it to me. She's also saying it's a privilege for people to know you. It's a privilege for people to work with you. You are a delight is how she's mentioning it to me. She's also making me feel like you've been feeling really drained, almost like you feel jet lagged. And she said it's because of all the mental energy of overthinking and worrying. Okay, she wants me to bring a message forth from this deck. This is my Ancestor deck, but it also just brings through incredible messages, and she loves this deck. Oof. Oh, boy. Okay, I'm getting the chills. Ooh. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Lilith. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Here, this is flat out it. Here we go. We're getting the Empress card here, which is completely the divine feminine embodied. That look at, I mean, that's Lilith, one of her representations, which people have forgotten about it. She's the beginning. She began. She was here since the creation of Earth. So she is one of the divine dark mothers. And this is just showing you, you have what it takes to be embodied. And she's also showing me the teacher, because we have the Hierophant here, that this is your time to step into alignment and take off the mask and pretend you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, this is it. Amazing. Wow. I'm loving that message. I'm going to pull you one more card before we end this reading. Lilith, I almost feel at a loss for words. She's just coming in so strong and beautifully. I'm so proud to work with her. Amazing. Okay, here we go. We're pulling the Lover's card. Okay. And what I'm getting, this is the Lover's card, but this is Oracle, right? In this deck, in this beautiful Beltane deck. So the thing I want to let you know is that there may be a season of you, this could be romantic, but this is also your relationship with yourself, really feeling yourself, letting yourself be in love with who you are, your sensuality, your passion, your creativity, your wisdom. You have everything. You are the center. You are the creator. You have what it takes. Absolutely beautiful. This is a very Lilith, card if I ever saw one too. All right. Pile number 3. What a beautiful message. That came in so strong for me and on a sensory level. So I'd love to know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for being here. I hope I see you in the next reading. Thanks again.